Good morning, students. This is 12th standard botany video class, video 5. In this video, we are going to continue the lesson Principles of Ecology. Dear students, in the previous video class, we have seen topographic factors. That means different climatic factors which are affecting the growth of a plant, that is known as topographic factor. Example, altitude, latitude, direction of the mountain and the steepness of the mountain. Next we have seen biotic factor. Both the living organism such as plants and animals interacted to the particular environment is known as ecosystem. These living organisms among themselves, they are interacting together and also they are interacting with other organisms either directly or indirectly. Those factors are known as biotic factors. These biotic factors are divided into two types: positive interaction and negative interaction. Positive interaction means both the organisms are beneficial. It is divided into two types. One is mutualism, another one commensalism. Mutualism means the interaction is taken place between the two different organisms, but both the organisms are beneficial. That is said to be mutualism or symbiotic association. Example, nitrogen fixation bacteria is inhabited in the root of leguminous plants is the best example of mutualism. Some other example also we have seen in the previous video class, that is association between cyanobacterium and Anthoceras, that is nostoc and Anthoceras. Then Anabina with the coralloid root of Cycas. Then water fern Azolla and Cyanobacterium anabina fixing the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. The relation between the algal and fungal partner is known as lichens. The relationship between the root of higher plants and fungal partner is known as mycorrhiza. So these are all the different examples of mutualism. After this only we have seen in the previous video class. Now we are going to see the next type, that is commensalism. Dear students, the next type is commensalism. It is the interaction between the two organisms. One organism is benefited, the other organism is neither benefited nor harmed. That is said to be commensalism. The species which are getting the beneficial is called a commensals, while the other species is known as host plant. So two different organisms which are interaction together. One is benefited, other one is neither harm or benefited. Okay, not or nor benefited. So the species which are benefited is known as commensal. The other species which is known as host plant. The common examples of commensalism is given below as a table column. Dear students, this is the best example of commensalism, epiphytes. What are epiphytes? We already studied in 11th standard. Some of the plants which are living on the bark of a tree without harming the host plant, that is known as epiphytes. So these epiphytes are found in the tropical rainforest region. See, the diagram is given here. an epiphytic plant known as vanda. The brown color is a bark of a tree. Then there is the vanda plant. It contains the leaves, and also they are producing two type of roots. One is the aerial clinging root, another one is the aerial absorbing root. Clinging root means they are giving mechanical support to the plant. The another root is said to be aerial absorbing root, which are showing the hygroscopic nature. Hygroscopic means they are absorbing water from the atmosphere, water and mineral salts, with the help of the special type of spongy tissue is known as velamen tissue. With the absorption of water and food material, they are preferring their own food material, but they are depending upon the host plant for the food material. They are not depending upon the food material for the host plant. And also they are not harming the host plant. So this is known as best example of commensalism. Vanda is one of the organism. Bark of a tree is known as host plant. The host plants which are giving mechanical support to the epiphytic, that means orchid plants, vanda. The vanda which are absorbing water and mineral salts from the atmosphere and preparing the food material. But this vanda do not take food material from the host plant. So that's why one of the plant is beneficial, another one is neither benefited nor harmed. That is the best example of epiphytes. Write a short notes on epiphyte is the important 3-mark question. Along with the diagram, you have to explain the answer for epiphytes. Some other example is also given here. Many orchids, ferns, lianas, woody climber, hanging mosses, peperomia, money plant, and asnia is a type of lichen, are the some other example of epiphytes. The another example of commensalism, Spanish moss named Tillandsia, grows on the bark of a oak and pine tree. So these are all the different example of commensalism. See the paragraph. The plants which are growing on the other plants without harming them are called epiphytes. That is the definition for what are epiphytes. They are epiphytic higher plants are known as orchids. They get water and mineral salts from the atmosphere with the help of hygroscopic root, which contains spongy tissue, is known as velamen. So it prepares its own food material, does not depend on the host for food material. The host plant which are giving only support. At the same time, it does not harm the host plant and any kind of material. That is said to be write a short notes on epiphyte or vanda plant, remaining the best example of commensalism. Dear students, next important 2-mark question, protocooperation is a very important 2-mark question. What is protocooperation? The interaction between organisms of different species in which both the organisms are benefited, but neither is dependent on the relationship. That means both of them depending upon each organism. At the same time, both the organisms are benefited. Example, soil bacteria, fungi and plants growing in the soil. That is said to be protocooperation. So both the organisms are benefited. At the same time, they are not depending upon the other organisms which are living in the soil on the relationship. That is known as protocooperation. Dear students, up to this we have seen positive interaction. That means both the organisms are benefited. Okay, that is said to be the positive character. So those interaction is known as positive interaction. Now we are going to see the negative interaction. So negative interaction means the interaction between the two organisms. One organism is benefited, the other organism is harmed. That means affected. So this is the negative character, isn't it? So that interaction is known as negative interaction. Example, predation, parasitism, competition, and amensalism. So these are all the 4 types of negative interaction. Positive interaction, 2 types, mutualism and commensalism. Negative interaction divided into 4 types: predation, parasitism, competition, and amensalism. First, we are going to see predation. Dear students, first one, predation. So this is the interaction between 2 species. One of them which captures the prey, kills and eats up the other. That means the interaction is taken place between 2 species. One of them which capture the other organism and kills and eats up the other one. The species which kills is called predator, and the species which is killed is called prey. So the organism which is going to be killed another organism is known as predator. The organism killed by a predator is known as prey. Here the predator is benefited and the prey is harmed. That is the negative interaction. Type is known as predation. The example of the predation are Drosera is the insectivorous plant, otherwise known as sundew plant. Important 1 mark question. Nepenthes, otherwise known as pitcher plant. Another important 1 mark question. Dionia is otherwise known as Venus flytrap. Utricularia, bladderwort. These are all the different types of insectivorous plants with a common name as well as the binomial name. And the last one is said to be the Sarracenia. These are all the different types of predators in which they are kills the insects. They are kills the insects and other small animals for their food to get the nitrogen from the insects and the small animals. See the diagram. This is the pitcher plant you studied in 11th standard. That is Nepenthes. A tip of the leaf which is modified the petiole of the leaf which is modified into coiled pitcher-like structure, a jar with a lid. With the help of the opening and closing of the lid, they are capturing the insects by secreting nectar secreting gland around the mouth of a jar. Due to this nectar secreting substance, they are glittering in the sunlight. The insects are attracted by the nectar secreting gland as a honey, and once it come in contact with the mouth region, the lid is closed and insert the insects into the center of the jar portion, which are containing the digestive enzymes to digest the insects for nitrogen. So these animals are known as insectivorous plants. Dear students, it's very important 3 mark question. Write a short notes on insectivorous plants with the example. First one is the pitcher plant, that is Nepenthes. This is another example, Utricularia, that is bladderwort. This is the another type of insectivorous plants. The Utricularia, which is living in the water living plants, is a branched plant body, natural condition, which are having a balloon-like bladder, which is present in the branches. They are showing the lashing movement due to the water flow current. And also they are having the nectar secreting gland. The lashing movement of the bladder attract the insects and small animals which are coming along with the water current and enter into the cavity of the bladder, which are contains many absorptive as digest the insects and absorb the nitrogen and store it in the hair-like outgrowth is known as absorptive hair. The outermost layer of the bladder is known as capsule, which is known as capsule wall. At the tip of the bladder, they are having fine hair-like outgrowth is known as sensitive hair. This hairs only which are showing the lashing movement in the water current, which attract the insects and small animals to come and contact with the Utricularia. These sensitive hairs once capture the insect, it bends and insert the insects into the central cavity of the bladder. So these are all the another type of insectivorous plants. Here the Drosera only get benefited, the other organism, that is insect, is harmed. So this is the another example of insectivorous plant, Utricularia or bladderwort. Some other example of predation is also given here. Most of the herbivores, what is herbivores? Plant eating animals, are predators. For example, cattle, camels and goats. These herbivorous animals are frequently browse on the, that means they are grazing the tender shoot of the herb, shrub and the trees. That means they are eating the leaf of the trees, herbs and the shrubs. According to their lifespan, plant is also divided into three: annual, biennial and perennial. Most probably, the annual plants are affected by the herbivorous animals than the perennials, that means tall trees and shrubs. So because tall trees which are having number of branches, the grazing animals are unable to climb up the tree to eat the leaves parts. That's why they are not affected more than that of annuals. Annuals are a plant which are showing up to 3 feet or 5 feet in heights. So these plants are eaten by the herbivorous animal. So most probably the annual plants are only affected by the herbivorous animals. The grazing of this shrub, herb and trees and browsing may cause the changes in the vegetation. Nearly 25% of the insects are known as Phytophagus. So Phytophagus means they are feed on the plant sap and other part of a plant. That means the insects which are eating the liquid substance which is present inner side of the plant pot, that is known as plant sap, and other part of a plant is known as Phytophagus. Is an important 2-mark question. What is Phytophagus? All the insects are known as Phytophagus because they are feeds on the plant sap and the other part of a plant. How many percentage of insects are known as Phytophagus? 25% is an important 1 mark question. So, the herbivorous animals is also best example for predation. Here, the herbivorous animals are benefited. The other living organism, what is that one? Plants such as herb, shrub and trees are harmed, isn't it? So, this is the another best example of predation. Next one, some of the plants which are having the defense mechanism to escape from the predators. Example, Calotropis, that is XIIstd, which have produced highly poisonous cardiac glycosides to escape from the grazing animals, that is herbivorous animals. It is one of the defense mechanism. Another one, a tobacco plant which are producing nicotine, is an alkaloid which prevents the tobacco from the grazing animals. Coffee plant produce caffeine to escape from the herbivorous animal. Cinchona plants produce quinine as a chemical substance to escape from the animals. Thorns of bougainvillea na kagidapu, they are producing that sharp pointed thorns to escape from the grazing animals. Opuntia, that is chapathically, they are producing sharp pointed spines to escape from the grazing animals. And some kind of cactus means xerophytic plants, which are secreting the milky substance is known as latex. They are protecting from the predators. So these are all the different defense mechanism. Defense mechanism means to protect their plant body against the predators or herbivorous animals is known as defense mechanism by secreting certain chemical substance or the plant part is modified into different defense mechanism. Dear students, write the different types of defense mechanism in their plants to escape from the predators. Is another important 3 mark question. Sometimes it will come for the 5 mark question. Kindly note down in your textbook. So dear students, write a short notes on predators is important 2 mark question. Then what is Phytophagus is important 2 mark question. Write a short notes on defense mechanism is important 3 mark question and 1 mark question. What is the 1 mark question? Calotropis produce poisonous substance dash cardiac glycosides. Tobacco produce dash nicotine. Coffee produce caffeine. Cinchona plant produce quinone or quinine. Then the modified form of bougainvillea, that is thorns, the spines of opuntia and latex of cacti are the modified form of defense mechanism. Dear students, I hope have you all understood different examples of predators and their defense mechanism. Dear students, see the table column. It's very important 1 mark and 2 mark question. Different interactions of plant. What are the 2 interaction? Positive interaction and negative interaction, isn't it? First one, positive interaction divided into mutualism and commensalism. The combination is, first one, both the organisms are benefited. So positive. In commensalism, one of the organism is benefited, so plus symbol. The other organism is neither benefited nor harmed, so they put 0. Okay. Then the effects is both the species are benefited. Second one species is benefited, the other species neither benefited nor harmed. First one example, lichens and mycorrhiza. Second one, orchids and lianas. So these 2 are the positive interaction. Next one, negative interaction divided into 4 types: predation, parasitism, competition, commensalism. First one, predation. What is that one? The interaction between 2 organisms, one of them is benefited, another one is the harmed. So benefited is plus symbol, harmed negative symbol. Example, Drosera and Nepenthes. Parasitism, here also one of the organism is benefited, another one is the harmed. Example, Cascuta, Duranta, Viscum, etc. Competition, here the competition is taken place between the two different organisms. Both the organisms are harmed. So that is given minus symbol, negative symbol. Effects is harmful for both. Example, grassland species. Next one, Solism. One of the organism is harmed. The other organism is neither harmed or not beneficial. That means the species is unaffected. One of them is harmful, other one is unaffected, 0. Example, Penicillium, another one is the Staphylococcus. So plus symbol means benefited, minus symbol harmed, 0 unaffected. So this all the different types of interaction is given in a simplest way in the table column. Is very important. 2 mark question. Kindly put important mark in your textbook. So this is all the different interaction of a plant. Positive interaction we already studied in detailed manner. Negative interaction we have seen predation with a different example. Against predation or predators, some organism which are showing the defense mechanism, that also we have seen in the previous paragraph. Next type is parasitism. What is parasitism? It is the interaction between two different species in which one is the smaller partner, that is parasite, obtained food from the larger partner, that is host plant. So the parasitic species is benefited, the host plant is harmed. So based upon the host parasite relationship, the parasite is divided into two types. One is the holoparasite, another one is the hemiparasite. It is a 2 mark question and 3 mark question. Write a short notes on parasitism in 3 mark. What is parasitism? Write its type. So what is parasitism? The interaction between two different species. One is the smaller partner, parasite. Another one is the larger partner, host. The parasite which are obtaining food from the larger partner. So the parasitic species is benefited and the host species is harmed. That is said to be parasitism. It is divided into two based on the host parasite relationship, holoparasite and hemiparasite. First we are going to see holoparasites. What is holoparasites? So the parasitic organism which depends upon the host plant for their entire nutrition are called holoparasite. That means totally it is taking water and mineral salts and food material from the host plant is known as holoparasites or otherwise known as total parasite. 2 mark question. What is holoparasite? The organism which are depend upon to the another organism for their entire nutrition or food material are called holoparasite. It is otherwise called as total parasite. Mulumiya, it is depending upon the food material for the host plant. So those parasites are known as holoparasites. Dear students, the best example of total parasite is Cascuta. We all know that one. Cascuta is the climber, weak stemmed plant, yellowish in color. There is no leaf in the stem region. Due to the weak stemmed plant, they need some host plant to twine. That means mechanical support. See the second diagram. Center one is the host plant. The twining stem-like structure is known as Cascuta plant. See that plant, there is no leaf. So this Cascuta, absence of leaf. Stem is also yellow in color, no green color. So due to the absence of leaf, this plant is unable to prepare the food material. So what will happen? This Cascuta, which are producing the special type of root, is known as Austoria. These Austoria producing the Austorial root, which penetrate inner side of the host cell by absorbing water and mineral salts from the xylem components and absorbing the food from the phloem components. So this parasitic plant Cascuta, which is totally dependent upon the host plant for their food material and water, that is said to be Holoparasite or total parasite. See the first diagram, a cross section is given here. The left side, the branched substance, it's said to be the stem of a Cascuta. A cross section is given here. It's a parasitic plant. They are producing special type of root, I told you, Austorial root. The green color, it's said to be the host plant. Inner side of the host plant, they are containing xylem and phloem. The Austorial root penetrate to the host plant to absorb water and mineral salts from the xylem components and absorb the food material from the phloem components. So this is the best example of total parasite. Dear students, the diagram is very important for 2-mark question, and also write a short notes on holoparasite or total parasite is important 3-mark question. No need to draw the diagram for 3-mark question, but this diagram will come for the diagrammatic question. Draw and label the TS of Cascuta and label the parts. Dear students, some other example is also given here. Holoparasite, the total parasite example, Cascuta. We have seen that the first diagram A. Then second one is the B. B is said to be the partial stem parasite. Partial. That means at the base, the pink color, it's said to be the host plant. On top of the host plant only, the parasitic plant is living. That is said to be viscum. The plant which are having the branched stem with the leaves. The plant is act as a parasite, partial parasite. Leaf is there. So green color pigment chlorophyll is there. It has the capacity to prepare their own food material, but it needs water for photosynthetic process. So what will happen? This plant Cascuta, which are producing special type of root, is known as Austorial root. This Austorial root penetrate into the bark of a host plant and absorb only water substance from the xylem components. By absorbing water and mineral salts from the xylem components, the plant is preparing their own food material. So this plant viscum is partially means what is that one? It absorbing only water and mineral salts. So partially absorbing the water and mineral salts from the host plant. So this is known as partial stem parasite. Example, viscum. Then third diagram, it's said to be root parasite on the Brinjal root, Orobunci species. So in the Brinjal root, they are having the another organism is known as Orobunci species. This Orobunci species, which is present in the root region as a parasite. So this is said to be a root parasite. Example, Orobunki. See this one. The green color stem with the leaf is known as the Brinjal plant. At the root region, they are having the special type of parasites said to be Orobunki, which are producing a tuber-like storage substance which is present on the root region of a brinjal. So these parasites are known as root parasites on the brinjal root. So these are all the other examples of holoparasites. Dear students, the example of holoparasites are given here. Cascuta is a total stem parasite of the host plant Acacia, that means Karuvala Maram. Durant and many other plants. Cascuta even gets flower inducing hormone from its host plant. So Cascuta is producing flower, but how it is produced flower means by absorbing the floral hormone florigen from the host plants to produce the flower. The another example, Balanopora, Arbunki and Rafflesia are the total root parasite found on the higher plants. Total root parasite means from the root itself they are taking, what is that one? Food as well as the water and mineral salts. So these are all the best example of total root parasite. Cascuta and Viscum are the best example of stem parasite. Out of these two, Cascuta is said to be total stem parasite. Viscum is said to be partial stem parasite. The another examples of Balanopora, Arbunki, Rafflesia are the total root parasite. So dear students, from these 2 points, they'll ask the 2 important 2-mark question. Give some example of stem parasites. Stem parasite means Cascuta and Viscum. Okay. So if they are asking dash is the partial stem parasite means Viscum. Dash is a total stem parasite, Cascuta. Is a 1 mark and a 2 mark. In the second points, 3 mark question or 2 mark question, give some example of total root parasite. What is that one? Balanopora, Orobunki and Rafflesia are the total root parasite. Dear students, I hope have you all understood what is common solism with the best example. Then the negative interaction, different types. There is predation with the example. How the prey, that means the host organism producing the defense mechanism against the predators. Then we have seen parasitism divided into 2 types, holoparasite and hemiparasite. We have seen what is holoparasite with the example. Up to this, I conclude my video. Remaining, we will see in the next video class. God bless you. All the best, children.